Thank you very much for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. I want to get to this oil spill. This is from the Atlantic into parts of the Caribbean, and this continues to move across in different locations. Now, this is what happened earlier this month. There was this large vessel that ran into one of the reefs on the kind of southeastern side of Tobago, and with it, there was this giant oil spill coming out of it. And you can see here again in parts of Tobago, they've been trying to do the cleanup for the last few weeks. Emergency was declared with this in Tobago, but such a large vessel that turned over and again caused this spill that it has been going in other locations. Now there are a lot of volunteers and of course emergency services cleaning this up. Now this here again, some of the oil that was in parts of Tobago, they've been putting those booms out. Those are those kind of things that kind of can help contain some of this. So we had that again. That was earlier this month, but look what has happened since. Some of this has gotten into the maritime areas of Grenada. So not necessarily onshore in Grenada, but just offshore in some of the waters. There was some of that oil, and then it continued to make its way off toward the west, getting caught up in some of the currents and with the predominant winds. I'll show you those winds and kind of swells in just a second. But this has impacted some of our areas of northern Venezuela and now all the way back toward Bonaire. Over the last few days, we've been seeing that coming ashore. Now, most of us live in these areas, but if you are traveling to these areas, you go ahead. Again, much of the area is great. Tourism industry, fantastic. But just giving that heads up of what we're seeing now with some of the oil. And here's that look in Bonaire. Again, you can see some of the oil. Of course, it's not as thick in spots like we've had in Tobago, but this has stretched so far that even in parts of the ABC Islands, we have been seeing it. So they're going ahead with the cleanup in some areas. Unfortunately, this impacting, and you can see the booms right here, that kind of yellow you're seeing there to try to contain this. You've got the mangroves here, which are just kind of a lush water area. You've got the vegetation, mangroves, and all of the natural habitat in that. They are trying to preserve that best they can. So getting a look at the winds, the predominant winds, and some of the waves. Here we go. ABC Islands here, northern Venezuela here. Here's Trinidad and Tobago. We're going to see at least the next couple days that predominant easterly flow. So that oil slick that continues to move toward Bonaire, that's generally holding, unfortunately. That means at least the next couple days, some of that could move in. This is by tomorrow and still dealing with that predominantly easterly flow, those easterly swells moving in toward the ABC Islands. However, by the time we get into this weekend, Saturday into Sunday, the wind direction does shift a little bit. It'll turn a bit more out of the northeast, but that could bring a little bit more of that oil potentially to parts of Venezuela. So watching out for that. But overall, again, at least where Tobago is concerned, things have been getting under control with this vessel that has gone aground again earlier this month. But again, the shift in the winds could bring some of this oil to different locations. So watching the southeastern Caribbean. Let me know what you have in the comments, and I'll continue to monitor this. Of course, huge environmental impacts, and this is what I'll be on top of for you. Now, on top of that, up to the north, as expected, that severe weather that rolled through parts of Illinois last night and moved through into parts of Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia. They had the severe weather. I'll zoom down into the system in a second to show you what's kind of going on next. Everything has been generally to the north of the Caribbean except one pocket as we get back toward the DR and we get back toward Puerto Rico and the British and U.S. Virgin Islands. We've had some of that rain that has still been around. So let me start here and then kind of widen things out and show you what to expect as we go forward. As we go through the rest of today, spotty showers again, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and across the British and U.S. Virgin Islands. Elsewhere, not a lot. We are still dealing with the dust, and as we go forward, we'll see more rounds of dust that will move in. That's what happens this time of year as we get in through the dry season. This is by tomorrow again. Hit or miss shower possible. Cuba, Bahamas, maybe one or two at best. Nothing widespread. And of course, watching the volcanic activity and watching the wildfires as we get back toward Guatemala. A ton of fires that are happening there. So I'll keep an eye on the smoke and the ash again coming from El Popo in Mexico. So plenty going on with that. You can see that in my previous videos. This is as we work our way into our Friday. Pop-up shower possible in Jamaica. A little closer look look before I expand things out. Here's Puerto Rico, get over towards St. Thomas, St. Croix, Tortola, 3-day rain totals. Again, not a whole lot more. We've had some good and welcome rain. We could get an additional 25 millimeters or an inch of rain in spots over the next couple days if you happen to get some of the showers. Now, here's the big picture. One system rolling into the Pacific Northwest, couple showers here, building near Mexico, moisture coming in from the Pacific headed toward Texas. And this right here, that is what brought some of the severe weather. That's the front that is pushing by the east coast of the United States, and you can see it really weakening as it gets toward Bermuda. I'll dive into Canada in a second, but as that kind of leaves behind just the tail end of this, some of the moisture builds here, and of course higher terrain snow back here. And then you see here as we work our way into Friday, we'll see more rain in the southeastern United States trying to move in, but a lot of this stays to the north of the Caribbean as we get toward the end of the week. Now here's the closer look. This is that severe weather event that came out of West Virginia, parts of Ohio and Kentucky. Still some thunderstorms, gusty winds, very high seas here. This is parts of New England and the mid-Atlantic, northeast U.S., and mainly a rainmaker for much of Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, watching over toward New Brunswick, and again Newfoundland. You can see the rain that will be working in tonight into tomorrow morning, and then as we go throughout the day tomorrow, this system will depart. On the backside of it, we may see a little bit of a snow trying to squeak in. So Jamaica, as I showed you in the model, a couple spotty showers will be possible tomorrow and Friday. Rain chance 20 to 30%. Same thing in the Cayman Islands. Rain chance up a little higher today in Trinidad and Tobago. We need some rain. I don't have a whole lot in the forecast, but a slightly better chance of a passing shower today in Trinidad. Barbados, a 30% chance, and a slightly higher chance of some isolated showers in St. Lucia for today, a 40% chance. Grenada, 10 to 20% chance for the next few days, 10 to 20% chance St. Vincent the Grenadines, and the rain chance in Martinique still holding at a low 20%, down to a 10% chance tomorrow in Dominica. Guadeloupe, 20 to 30% chance. And then here, Antigua and Barbuda, the next 3 days, we swing back towards St. Kitts, Nevis, and Montserrat. Isolated showers possible if you happen to get any at all. Anguilla and St. Bart's, 20 to 30% chance, and a 20 to 30% chance St. Martin, Saba, and Statia. Rain chance, though, still on the elevated side across Puerto Rico the next couple days, a 40 to 50% chance, a 40% chance U.S. and British Virgin Islands today, a 30% chance for tomorrow. Then we get back toward the DR, still a 40 to 50% chance, some scattered showers and storms over the next couple days. Getting back toward Haiti, it's more limited, isolated shower today, tomorrow, 30% chance, and we swing back toward the Bahamas. Beautiful sunshine around today. We'll keep an eye on that next front that will get a little closer later this week and this weekend. Turks and Caicos mainly on the dry side, and mainly dry in Cuba aside from a small chance of a passing shower. Rain chance a little higher in a couple days in Belize and the Yucatan of Mexico. Some of that moisture just around, so an isolated shower chance. Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire keeping tabs, of course, on the oil. Rain chance stays low, and we're watching some of that Saharan dust around. Rain chance 20 to 30% in Bermuda, and then just about a 10% chance in Costa Rica and Panama. Very low and still on the low side as we get toward Guyana, Suriname, passing shower, but some dust around, mainly dry conditions. And I'll keep an eye on that wildfire threat that is creeping up for a lot of us. Northern Venezuela, 10 to 20% chance of a shower. So things happening in many facets, tracking that oil spill and the impacts of that, watching the volcanic ash that has been spreading in some locations, scattered showers, northern zones, drier and dusty to the south, a ton going on. I'll keep you posted on that. I'm going to monitor the volcanoes again. El Popo has been shooting up a little bit more so for today. Again, more on that in some of the previous videos. I'll be watching that throughout the day. Thank you for sharing this information. Be safe and have a good rest of your day.